Green, green, green. Oh, but Koa holds it around the outside and he gets a way better exit. Pushing hard, already 3 wide into turn 1.
A little bit, and a group of Astons just piling up on him, trying to hold everybody off. Push him wide a little bit, oh, but you can't make it stick.
Busha is able to hold the inside.
Got a little overlap, but he can't do it.
Ooh, and he just caught it.
Mr. Sir and King are banging doors.
Oh, shoot. And we're off and away for SRA.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday night Sim Racing Alliance Division 2 race tonight here at Misano, and welcome you guys to the stream. We're just getting ready to get started here with our free practice session, with soon into qualify in our main event. I am joined again by our 2 hosts alongside with me. Selena, welcome to our stream. You first.
Hello, hello, hello. It's good to be back at round 2 at Misano.
That's correct. We packed our bags and flew right over to Italy. And also, Jerry, welcome to the stream as well.
What's up, guys? It's Jerry Finkelstein. Back at it again.
Let's go, guys.
I'm excited for this one. I like Misano. It's fast. It's fun. Let's get it.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to get things going here. First off, I just wanted to quickly apologize. Last race 1 stream had a few technical issues, which have been solved after much testing. So we're gonna keep that fingers crossed, but everything's good.
I heard from a little bird it was actually a wire or something.
Yeah, you know, when a network cable decides to fail on you at the perfect timing, right? So it's great, great stuff.
That's always the last thing I think about too. You know, I try connections. I'm like, maybe it's not connected. You know, maybe there's something going on like software-wise or network-wise, but I never actually considered the actual cable. So I don't know how you figured that out, but
you believe me, it was an absolute I was hunting that down the entire day. I mean, for 4 hours on this whole thing. So, anyways, but we're good. I think we're gonna be good. So. let's go ahead and
as long as we're good, it's good.
Yeah, we should be good. We should be good. So the drivers now, I know we're on intermission screen here, but they're just getting ready to get into their qualifying. We're gonna switch that over in just 1 second here for you guys as I get this thing going on my end. Switch that drive button on my end here, and let's get over to our main event as we get things going here. And so, I mean, you guys raced yesterday, so, I mean, I was asking you guys a little bit earlier about it, but you guys had some fun. I mean, was it good? Some battles across the track?
Oh, yeah, it was, D4 was, it was good. expected that there was drive-through penalties, but that's Misano. But it was actually quite a clean race.
Nice,
It was
nice.
really enjoyable. Clean, pretty well.
Misano is, we're just talking about it as one of those tracks where things can be like curbs non-existent, whether that's a track cut here or it's not. And, you know, basically you sort of, can I go this wide on this turn, but I can't really go this wide on this other turn. So it's kind of like, you know, and eventually if you practice enough, you're good. So.
Yeah, practice makes progress.
Yes, it does. Now, while the drivers are on a quick qualifying and we're following Sircone here for his out lap, we're going to just film the track. So for those who might not know the track, we'll just kind of go over a little bit. Take a look at our track map as we pull this up. We are in Italy, Misano, right around, I'd say, the east coast of Italy. Now, it is a 2.5 mile track or so with 16 turns. You got a pretty technical, I'd say, sector 1 or so, where you go to the little chicane, turns 1, 2, 3. You get part on the brakes on 4. You can try to get a good exit 5 into 6, you know, 7 and 8 on that left hairpin. And, you know, you get probably the hardest, I'd say probably the hardest turn on the track just for you to gain time. So turn 10, you have to get a really good exit speed that will take you all the way to sector 2, mid-sector 2, sector 3, all the way to the opposite side of the track, which you get to turn 14, hard on the brakes there as well. You get to turn 15, 16, which is the 90-degree left-hander, back to the starting lineup, the starting grid, excuse me. So it's a interesting track. It's a lot of Moto GP racing going on here, and it's not as famous as some other tracks we have on the calendar, like you say Monza, Spa, and things like that. But you know, it's still it's actually one of my favorite tracks because I had no idea what this track was when I got into ACC, and I just wanted to get good at it. So that's Misano for you, and I know some drivers are started to put in a couple laps. We're still following Sircone around a little bit. Silver drivers are on the track. Let's take a quick look and see. And again, apologies up front if I do not get your name correct. I know we're trying to get a pronunciation kind of thing going on, but I would say
it's fine. You can just butcher it.
I would say probably with Krosky, and apologies if I get that wrong, but following him around the track here at Misano. A couple of drivers are about to get their first lap in, so we'll see what the times will start populating soon in our leaderboards.
Yeah, jumping into Misano too. When I first started, this was one of my favorite tracks just because of that high-speed section with the couple corners in sector 3. It's just really fun to take them. It's just really fun section. So Misano is very interesting and it's fun, and at least it's not raining, so I'm happy about that.
So that was a whole different weather pattern we got. Different from our season 5 Misano, right? That was more like almost like a flooded track, I remember.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It kind of depended on what you were going with here, but we were going to see a couple times coming in. I remember Ronnie Over from last time and Kevin Lau putting in podium finishes here, and Archie coming in with a podium qualifying right now with a 34-1, but these times are only going to get better as the night goes on here. So who do you think is going to be top contenders as far as qualifying goes?
Well, my take is, I would say, for now, I mean, Ronnie Over, obviously last, he ended up with that win. I do remember, and I haven't seen him just yet, put in a lap, and it was, I believe his last name was Thomas. Is that correct? I forget, but he was leading for quite a bit. And I haven't gone down the list, but
yes,
he was really quick. I would say probably one of the fastest drivers. So we probably see him up there as well, I would think. And also
we
Wilson.
saw a lot of silver drivers coming up last time. We had like 4 silver drivers finish first in qualifying. So I'm guessing we're going to see Ronnie Over and some of those other guys near the top as well.
And we do have Ronnie Over about to complete his lap. He's got a pretty decent one coming through. We'll see what he comes up with. And he sits 5th at the moment. We'll see what he will bring his Aston Martin for another go at it. But yeah, I mean, he was the winner of round 1, so he's currently with the lead. So we'll see how he handles here at Misano.
Yeah, I mean, he's already bumped down to 7th, though, but he is improving on his time on this lap by a fair amount, almost 3/10 right there. But right now, Kevin Lau still holding that top spot with a 33.6, and Archie and Wilson following up. Wilson actually stealing that.
He's got a 33.5. Yep.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a steal there, and he's running in the Porsche, which is pretty good on this track as well. So yeah, we'll kind of see here moving forward what that podium is going to look like here.
And we'll switch over to Sircone, which should be completing his lap in just a little bit, as he's improving his delta a slight bit, and he might take that 3rd spot from Archie. We'll see if he's able to go through the last turn here, as he goes a little wide and invalidates the lap. Unfortunately, he'll give it another go.
Ronnie Over is up by, he just invalidated, but he was up by almost a half a second. But now he's knocked back down here. We see Zook. He just improved his time by a lot and jumped all the way into 7th.
As Garner takes that back, though, he goes up to 7th, sends Zook to 8th. So a clear battle between. Look at the difference in the time.
It's crazy. The times are really, really close right now.
Garner and Zook by basically same exact time at 34.120 and 34.125. Wow. So
that's
this
crazy.
This is going to be one interesting race, that's for sure.
Yeah, we got a lot of close drivers. The grid is pretty close right now. The first 10 just within not even a full second.
Yeah, the first 17 drivers are actually within a second. So that's a huge, actually not huge at all. That is a no gap in between this. So
yeah, I mean, keep in mind these are the silver coming right now, and they do have 2 minutes and 24 seconds to complete their qualifying here. So when the gold drivers roll in, we might see more of a gap there. But then again, the silver drivers last time kind of rounded out the top couple spots last qualifying, so we'll see if any gold drivers are able to kind of peek their heads in and take that podium.
I was a silver driver myself on D3 last season, and sometimes you kind of, for me, when I get into the track, I'm not sure if I'm ready to do this, and I'm terrible at qualifying anyway, so I ended up moving on the field as a silver. But let's also not forget that Ronnie Over, Gomer Wilson, and I believe, again, it was Stubbs. I'm not sure if he's here tonight, but they're also silver drivers, so that I don't think it mattered much. I remember at least last on round 1. We'll see how he goes on round 2.
Yeah, a lot of silver drivers coming up top last time for sure. And then taking a look at the track again here, we got Wilson and Lau improving their times by almost a quarter of a second for both of them. So I definitely think they're going to be holding these top 2 spots here coming through the silver division.
Well,
here Lau crosses the track with 33.3.
He just sent it into the low 33s right here. Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
Yeah.
So
Wilson up by.
I raced with Lau on season 5, and he had the Porsche on, and he's actually fairly new to the game. He said, and he was like, "Oh, that's a car I'm kind of wanted to get." Familiar with, and then he tried a few different cars. Obviously, the Porsche is completely unique, so then he's now with the Honda, so he might be getting even more confident. I'd say overall the Honda is a little bit easier to drive, especially if you're new. So, obviously you can see him already putting his up top, currently the pole. We'll see how he goes on the race as well.
Yeah, the Porsche is just a whole different beast when it comes to any track.
Yeah, Porsche is very interesting. The only thing that is kind of its downside is that it doesn't have that top end speed, so passing on the straights is kind of difficult. So really, if you're out in front, you can really pull away, but if you're behind another driver and they're consistent, you'll be on their tail, but there's no really good area to overtake, and that's really the weakness of the Porsche. But a good driver just needs to recognize times to make that overtake happen. And we'll see if these drivers are able to do that. This is D2, so it's nothing to laugh at here. And I think a lot of these drivers, if they're racing in the Porsche, they know how it works.
That's true. We're talking about how tight all the divisions have gotten, like D1, D2. These D2 drivers, some of these guys, easily go into a D1, Division 1 scenario. It's so close from one another, and you see, like, I was just talking to somebody earlier on how D2 drivers and D1, you could have a huge field and they'll probably still be battling. Like, 100 drivers on the track. If you're not enough room, like maybe on Spa you could probably get away with that, but not on shorter tracks. But it would still be interesting to see something like that.
Very, very full grid tonight. We got 44 drivers coming in for this race, and now the golds are going to be out on their way. And I will say this, though, there is a lot more silvers than there are golds.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot more, right?
A big difference, yeah.
It's about 27 silver drivers and roughly about 15 gold. Yeah, that's
the golds decided to not show up as much today, but that's just going to give them more room to kind of breathe during qualifying.
I think the silver drivers are like, we don't belong here. We're gold. We're going to show you guys how we help.
That's how it was. That's how it was last time. So, I mean, I would not be surprised if that happened. I would not be surprised. Yeah.
I mean, now, again, gold drivers are just kind of getting ready to get their laps started, I believe. From what I'm following now, it looks like Damiani is one of the drivers. Again, we're following Damiani on the back straight here, but they will soon be getting their laps in. A couple of drivers behind as well, down on the main straight. And again, let's remind everybody, the pole lap, you don't see at the top, but we do have Wilson, by the way, actually took the pole away from Lau at the end with a 33.157. That is a crazy lap, and guess on what car? The Porsche. He knows how to handle it.
Yep.
He sent it right to the top. So Lau with that second, Rutkowski with a third place, and Arch is in fourth, and Rennie Over was in actually fifth. So we'll see what these guys are able to come up with this time around.
Yeah, we'll see here. I mean, looking at the gold drivers here, my boy Jason Allen and Russell Allen representing Plan E, love to see it. We'll see if they have any lap 1 incidents here we can, totally call out and shame them for.
Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. We're just going into a...
That's what we're hoping. There's a no, but it could happen.
Hopefully it's clean.
We'll talk to the admins. For instance, we have Mr. D1, the legend, D. Mitchell, as we're following him around here, as he's now... Yep, Division 2, and, again, easily... I mean, I was obviously Division 1 last season. Easy move. Again, like I said, it's such a tight grid that you could easily have them flipped around or not. Again, like a larger grid would be no problem for these guys. So. Yeah.
So we're seeing some of the first times come in, and we got Stasiv placing in 10th with a 33.9, and Mitchell coming in with a 34.3. But these times are only going to improve as their tires get up to temp here. And I'm thinking that we're going to have a gold driver break the top 3. I have a feeling. I know last time we didn't have them break into the top 4, but I have a feeling we're going to see one. I don't know who it is, but somebody's going to make it.
Yeah, once they get their tires warmed up a little bit, by second or third lap, you want to make... That's the one when you get, like, for me, again, that's why I'm terrible qualifying, because I get all tensed up, and that's the time you need to be as relaxed as possible to get that lap in.
And you're like, no, don't mess up, mess up, and then you mess up.
Exactly,
And how many times?
This one chance.
How many times have you guys ruined your fast lap on the last turn? You can count. I cannot even count that. It's like, this is going to be such a great qualifying lap, and then last turn I completely go out and just completely end it. It's like, oh my god.
And then you watch it, like, that's just how it is.
I hate when that happens. I absolutely terrible, and I just keep kicking myself so many times, like last turn, and would have been like my best lap ever, and then I totally kill it.
Oh yeah, even in practice too, like practice quality, like for the, like I literally, like, I get like good lap times, and then when it comes to the actual qualify, no, I'm like, I made this lap time, but I didn't get it in like the actual quality. It's like, I had that chance.
You don't have proof. You didn't get it. That's just kind of how it goes, right? Like, oh, you got no proof. Yeah, you didn't get it. Don't worry about it. It's like,
exactly.
Sorry, it doesn't show on the leaderboard. You didn't do it at our racing, servers where he keeps track of it.
It just happened.
No, it didn't happen.
Like,
and then you never get it again. You never get it again.
It never happened. You didn't see a thing.
So, getting back to it here, we're going to have Crown and Stasiv break into the top 10 with P5 and P6 holding a 33-6, pretty much both the same at this point.
Yep.
And they're both improving their time. So like I said before, I think these guys are definitely going to break into the podium here. And we'll kind of see as they move forward here. Crown kind of botching that lap a little bit, but he's got the potential to break into that podium here coming into qualifying. Just only a matter of time. They got still 3 minutes, a couple of laps in before that ends. Plenty of time to get a better time.
And Crown had such a great delta, and then we probably jinxed him by just talking what we were just talking about. Like, such a great lap and then totally ruined it.
Well, he's like I said, he's got the potential. He's got the time there. He just needs to have his consistency into the later sectors there to try and break in. We're going to see some of the other drivers as well improving their times down the line.
Stasiv not able to improve. He stays on that 6th spot, but he's going to give it a go again on his Lamborghini. See how well he does.
Yeah, he's up by 2/10, which would throw him... It would throw him into 3rd, actually. Oh, now he's up by almost 3/10 there. Oh, kind of botches it a little bit. Up by 2/10 still. Just hovering around that 2/10 mark.
Mitchie just sent his Porsche up to 7th as he crossed the line, so he's getting that. Gonna give it a
Michael
go again.
In the Porsche. Yeah, for sure. He can definitely improve as well. So we're seeing some gold drivers kind of breaking into that top 10 there. We'll kind of see. I still think somebody can take that podium from the gold division here.
Now, again, Crown with a 33.6 and Wilson with a 33.1. He's got to find a half a second at least to get pole, but he's pretty close to the top, the remaining drivers. So he could jump by just a little bit, but Wilson just threw a ridiculous lap. That's going to be a tough one to get.
That is going to be a tough one to get. Well, I don't think anybody can take pole at this point, but Stasiv is still up by 2/10, which would put him into 3rd there if he's able to hold on to this.
He's got a good delta coming in on the last part of the last sector here. He might actually he might jump up to 4th if he can get this right, and it will be close. Maybe even 3rd.
It's kind of close.
And he crosses,
he's
takes it.
Jumping up to 3rd. There it is. He's
Stasi.
the first to break into the podium here, kind of kicking out Rutski.
That's right.
From the podium, number 3 spot. He's probably feeling pretty good about that.
And he's got a Lambo too, which, as we all know, it's not necessarily like, oh, nobody picks this car much because they say, oh, it's not quick or fast or whatnot. But if you know how to drive it, you can make it work. And that's a clear example right here.
Exactly.
For sure. Now Crown is just looking to try and join a spot here up there. He is up by a fair bit, about a 2/10 right now on his lap, and he is coming down about midway through the track right now. So we'll see if he's able to keep that. If he does validate that lap right now, that will throw him actually into 2nd if he keeps this delta up.
We're just checking on the chat here with the guys talking, and we have Sir Owns a Lot saying there's a 1 second gap all the way back to 23rd at least. And that's actually, to be a little bit more accurate, that's a 2nd gap all the way to 27th. Just to
oh, wow.
That is nuts.
That's crazy. That is nuts right
wow.
there.
That is absolutely nuts. That's 27 cars. Can you fit that in 1 second? No, you don't.
That's crazy. Yeah,
you could break the laws of physics. They can't do that. It would be a bunch of cars inside each other. So that does not work. So this will be very. Hoping everybody keeps it clean all the way throughout. Some hard racing, but clean.
All right, we're seeing Crown here coming up to the straight. It looks like he is going to jump.
He is
up to 2nd.
Yep, sends it to 2nd.
That's going to put him right into 2nd right there. Crown's feeling very, very good about Stasi being pushed out of the podium there into 4th.
And
but we are seeing more of those gold drivers breaking into the silvers there. So this is definitely a better split since what we've seen before.
Yep, you got it.
Oh yeah, they're trickling in there. Yep.
Now, I got to go for Crown. I'm going to root for him all the time because he's driving the 720. And I'm not lying to you. When I started this game, I drove that car only for a year and a half. Like, I didn't even touch another car. That's how I drove that car.
Wow.
Like, that was it. So, yeah, that was really interesting. So, I am an absolute McLaren, basically fanatic. So, I got to root for Crown right now. Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're seeing a lot of drivers finishing up their qualifying here as we get ready to go into the race.
Yep.
And
we got Louis.
I think, golds are better represented in this race than the other race, with a lot of the silvers kind of filling out the back half of the grid here.
Now, Louis, actually, he's currently 31st. He's probably looks like as the last driver on the track. He's got time to finish that. He's improving his lap time at the moment, even though, and again, we're talking about he's within a second from first, and he's 31st.
Honestly, if he stays up this 10th, that puts him up like 7 positions.
Exactly. See if he can get it here. So crosses the line.
That jumps him up
10.
I don't know where he went.
10 positions. Wow, he just gained 10 positions.
Probably like
that is crazy.
Yeah,
that is again. We are talking about
1/10.
I mean, that is about as close as things will get, and we're talking about
all it took.
So. Yep.
All right, we're getting to the race here.
That is correct.
Drivers are getting their setups started here and getting their strategies in lock right now, and I'm ready to go.
I know. Let's before we I know it's gonna be about 2 minutes to go. Let's take a look at the current standings. Kind of remind us where everyone is. Just I don't think it matters. It's still round 1 at the moment, but I just wanted to pull up our standings, the drivers and teams, so we can take a quick look while they get their setup and all that stuff going. Let's pull this up. Let's see what we have here for standings. So give me a second, guys. So here we go. As we have, again, we're talking about Ronnie Over. He is on that top spot. Again, Gomer Wilson and Lau, it's actually 1, 2, and 3 currently. Again, this might change by the end of this race easily from the gaps we're looking at. Again, all the way through the end, you can see there's a couple drivers with 0 points at the moment. Again, 0 points meaning they might not even participate on round 1. They might be joining on round 2. So it doesn't mean that they just gain no points at all, because for what I understand, most drivers all the way to 40 or so actually earn points. And I can't remember exactly the point structure at the moment, but he's, again, this will change by the end of this race. Now, for team current standings, we have Madhouse Racing with Lau and Thomas actually sitting at first, with Running Over, Guyman Pearson in second, with Ghost Rider Racing, 2 technically Naked Cowboys. That's a very name.
Oh, I love that name.
That's great.
It's like Ram Ranch.
And
you know what Ram Ranch is? Don't look it up, kids.
But they're just a point of
I will spare my eyes.
Yeah, 1 point ahead of Ghost Rider Racing Maple Bandits. So with John Archie and Steven Smalley. So again, that's your team. This will probably change everything by the end of today. This is something that...
Well, it's good to see who's in front here. And a lot of team names that I recognize and some that I don't. But I want to, recognize these guys over multiple races and seasons. But it'll take me a little bit to get there. But we're going to have about a couple seconds before the starting guys get into the formation lap here, start warming up their tires and such. Do you think anybody's going for the half and half with tires? You think anybody's doing that?
10 degrees of weather, I don't think is a good idea. That would be my take.
Probably not.
It's a very I would say you can probably if you can, don't abuse your tires obviously, but I think you'll be okay with just one set and putting your fuel in. So that's what I would think.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I would do too.
Yeah. It's the whole sprint right there.
As we're getting ready to get started. So almost there.
Yeah, we are going to have a normal pit window, 10 minutes in the middle of the race for this one as well. Just so people are aware.
Yes, 10-minute pit window, just like yesterday. That was not anything like a 40-minute or anything of that sort. So just don't think that if you have a strategy, again, it's a pretty low. You can check our weather predictions on the top right-hand corner of your screen. 11 degrees track and ambient temperature. Track's optimum condition, barely any wind. So I'd say drivers would just put in that 3-second 1 liter of fuel and just head back on track. Pending any incidents, hopefully nothing, no damage or anything of that sort. So. Let's get a camera, a heli cam up front. We're crowned. We got a more of a view, a heli cam off the starting once they cross the finish line for the green light. And we'll keep a focus at the top off the field, and then we'll work our way backwards to see if there's any incidents. Hopefully not, and everybody keeps it steady and no major incidents.
I'm going to go into free cam mode and kind of look at the first couple turns and see if I can catch any action there.
You just let us know, as since we have just a small field of cars, right? Like 40, you name it, 40 something, right? It's going to be tough for us to follow everything, so we'll promise to catch as much as we can, and we'll try to pull in some replays if it comes down to that, but we'll do our best. That's a lot of cars on the track to keep track of, so.
Yeah. Get it? Track?
Yep.
Track of?
No? You got it. No pun intended.
Very punny. Very punny there.
There was no intention of that.
For our viewers. I did not like that joke.
You know, one thing I was going to mention, and like towards the end of the silver qualifying, as they're about to get started here, we'll get going just a little bit. I was looking at Gardner, who was currently in 7th, I believe, by somewhat towards the end of the qualifying session, and then he's dropped to 25th. Because of that, such of a short gap that we had. I mean, he could have jumped to like 10th.
That's crazy.
So, whew, that's absolutely crazy. As they are coming around the last turn, we are about to go green, guys.
Here we go.
Here we go, as we're waiting for them to cross the, starting line. And
green light.
Green we go.
Green.
They're off.
And we're off.
Right here.
Wilson with a great start right off the bat. He's jumped
Couple people
right
going
up.
3 wide right there. I'm watching turn 1 right now. Nothing major turn 1. Very, very clean. Good job.
Everything.
Going into turn 2, and a little bit of bumpage. We have a car that's a little bit of bumpage towards the back of the grid there.
That's right. Looks
they
like
Alan it out, and
yep.
now they're going here.
Was it quite a few cars involved? It seems as somebody just went off,
wide.
completely off into the side of the track, so that wasn't that great. But looks like for the most part, I would say it didn't seem too bad, but except for looks like Botella. No, he's actually in the pits, and looks like Chilcutt. He's already gone into the pits as well, but quite a few drivers, and the one that actually hit the wall looks like it was Morrison.
We had a couple pit lane starts.
Yep.
Yep.
Now Morrison was the one that ended up on that wall. Let's take a quick view at the front here, as Wilson is keeping that lead so far. Open up actually a half a second from Lau, who's in 2nd. Remember, Lau was actually in 3rd, so he took that 2nd from Crown. And Stasi in 4th.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of battles side by side going through the long turns there. And it looks like lap 1 isn't that bad besides a couple incidents there. And a lot of battles for the mid-pack going on as the drivers kind of straighten out here and form that line.
It's going to take a few laps for everybody to sort themselves out, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure, but I'd say a pretty good lap 1 here. Seems sort of the middle of the pack. It looks like it's kind of straightening out. Some drivers still going side by side.
They're leading into turn 1. Oh my goodness, looks like a Louis just sent it on the inside, but then he goes wide and into the dirt. So he tried to make that stick, but he ended up losing time. He's dropped all the way down to 21st. And that's pretty much where he was when he started. He's now getting sandwiched on turn. He's in between actually Mitchell. Oh boy, he was not a happy camper for a second there. He was literally in between 2 cars, going through a very tight turn.
Oh. Yeah, that's a tough situation to be here, between a rock and a hard place right there.
Ooh, a little side-by-side action with Samido and Louis for a second, but
yeah,
Samido
kind of
managed
leading
to pass.
the mid to backpack right there.
Looks like almost a little bit rubber banding going on as they're all kind of hitting their brake markers at different spots. Everybody's kind of bouncing off their brakes. So like, be very careful.
Everyone's going everywhere.
Ooh. But Louis being able to, at least he's kept, 21st. That's where he started. He was ahead a bit, gained some positions, but he's dropped down a little bit on the field now. I mean, actually, well, early now he did, but he was been ahead. But he's got Mitchell.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at increases, Navarro's gained 8 positions since qualifying on lap 1. And some other notable, Mitchell and Landshark have gained 5 positions. Lee has gained 6. So those are kind of our winners coming in here from lap 1, being able to take opportunities and gain positions there.
And this field is going to take a while into it. It's all because when we look at our gaps, it's basically all orange, meaning they're within battling distance. Everybody's battling for position for now. Like, with very few exceptions.
There. I was close by Josh Damiani. More side-by-side action.
Boardman's been taken out.
Mitchell still
it's into the wall.
3 wide with Zuch.
Let's take a look and see what happened with Boardman here. Let's go back.
I do want to see this
sandwich.
Going here.
Mitchell's
trying to dig his nose in here. Right now he's side by side with Damiani right there. They're going into that corner.
Just Aston fight going on.
Oh, they're going around the hairpin there. Still side by side.
Oh, goodness.
Damiani able to pull out in front, and Mitchell files in behind there. Looks like that's sorted itself out for now, but all those drivers are very, very close.
He's got a train of at least 10 people behind him right now.
He's got a train for sure right now.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see Navarro and McCoy almost next to each other right there. They were side by side for a second. Drivers being cautious not to rear-end anybody, just forming that train as close as they can.
And Zuch is actually leading that pack with Damiani right behind him, and Mitchell basically. No, there is no gap between these guys basically at this close racing.
Pretty much, there is almost no gap. Yeah. Looking back towards the back there, we see Jason Allen just holding that position. It looks like Navarro was trying to go for a little bit of pass there, but I think Jason did a good job defending, didn't let it happen.
And I got to say, Allen's livery is absolutely, I would say, fire. That's,
yeah.
I mean,
that's for sure.
I don't know who made that livery, but
I don't know who made it, but obviously, we're not going to say any names. But
whoever made that livery, man, they're an artist.
Oh, man, I think it was somebody named Jerry, but I'm not really sure who. But anyways, we'll keep that under the wraps.
That sounds about right, but I'm not sure.
See, my livery is more of a, I'll probably just pull up an empty template and throw in a bunch of numbers and just say, I'm a math guy, and yep, I got a couple of equations on my thing.
The best liveries are really simple ones, so I kind of overdid it with that one. I went for a style that not a lot of people go through, but...
No, it looks great. I'll tell you, like with the,
it looks
like it's almost like there's like paint just kind of thrown around the car, but there's a pattern, obviously. And it looks really cool all around.
Patterns are good, yeah.
Yep.
Makes it a whole.
Thanks. For whoever made that, obviously it wasn't me. So.
It's okay to take credit for something you didn't do.
There we go. Anyways, looking back at the grid here, I think a lot of drivers have kind of straightened themselves out. Still a lot of people very, very close, but I think it's one of those things where not a lot of side-by-side action, a lot of single file action going on here.
And being really respectful. You know, they're very close. They're just kind of keeping, like, their own thing kind of together on their own, and it's been working out pretty good so far. I didn't see many yellow flags or anything like that so far. Nothing major, I would say, for the amount of drivers on the track.
Yeah, so there was one, I forgot who it was, but they did have a little bit of a yellow flag. We're going to look at Smollett over here in 35th and Wagner. They're kind of fighting side by side.
And
Wagner
interesting
to nudge his nose in here, and then Berg coming in behind. They're going 3 wide into this turn here.
Yep, this is very interesting. Berg just sent it.
It looks like they backed out.
What was that?
Now they got 2 wide next to each other.
Oh boy!
Going into the next hairpin here. Let's see how this handles out.
This is just
heavy braking right here.
The 2 THR cars just came out ahead on that. Looks like they had fallen behind, so They're now both kind of team working together, and looks like Wagner is came out on. From what I'm looking at, it looks like Berg actually is ahead of Wagner. Oh, and an incident back here.
From Landshark on Bailey Kish.
Let's take a look at Let's take a look at the replay really quick. I just said that move going into the hairpin. Just kind of see how that actually turned out to be. As we can see, we switched the camera over to Wagner. He said 3 wide, just like you said. They go into the hairpin, and then Berg just said, "No, I'm taking all of you together. It's my turn." And then Wagner's like, "You got it. I got this. Let's continue going." And yep, it looks like they actually both came up ahead.
Mom, Dad, it's my turn on the inside.
And now the 2 GHR guys are actually battling. So it looks like Wagner and Berg are just kind of like, all right, well, let's see if we can move up together up on the field. And I believe Wagner was involved in the incident at the beginning of the race. I think he might have been a tap, so he had fallen back. So work your way up. I mean, got to make it the best of it at this point. So
yeah, being taken out early sucks, but if you got the pace, you can definitely make up some positions here.
Oh yeah, that's
still got a lot of time on your hands here to show off your skills here. We're going to see Hartman gaining position on Scott for 32nd near the back of the grid, but Scott is not going to get that up so easily. He's going to kind of hold the inside here, trying to get that better exit. They're now side by side going into the sector 3 here.
Let's look at a clear view from. This is going to be very interesting as they're all going into this straight. Oh, boy.
Oh, the braking zone's going to be tough there.
Yep. He goes wide.
He goes a little bit wide and gives up his position there, going off track. That's unfortunate. Tried to be respectful there. He did a good job avoiding the collision, but did go wide, giving up that position.
So he's able to at least... It goes wide, but doesn't lose it entirely. So, you know, you can battle it back. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's not the worst. You know, he lost the position, but he didn't completely spin out, so it could have been a lot worse there. So definitely good move from him to, you know, avoid getting that collision, because that's what it's about. You know, it's about clean racing there. So, yeah, going wide was definitely the right move there to avoid that collision.
We haven't checked at the top of the field for a while, but we can see right now, we were talking about earlier, like that Stasi is actually running in 3rd right now, so he's taking that from Crown with Lau in 2nd, and Wilson is actually in 1st, but he's got a 3.5 second lead with the fastest lap of the race at 33.950, and he is literally, from what I'm seeing, at least from the top guys, the only driver on the 33s. And,
well, like I said before, the Porsche is great in front. If you're in front, you don't got anybody impeding you. You can just pull ahead and keep pulling. And in qualifying, that's same as well. So I think Wilson is in a good spot right now, as long as he doesn't make any huge errors, to just keep pulling and making that gap larger, just doing what the Porsche does.
Yeah, we talked about the Porsche. If you know how to do it, like you said, if you can figure the car out, it's... I mean, especially tracks, and again, Misano will be somewhat of, I'd say, an OP track for the Porsche. Short tracks like Laguna, if you can figure that car out. When you go into tracks like Monza and Spa, it's not so great, but if you take into account like an entire calendar, if you can take care of the Porsche, you're golden.
Jason Allen, I'm sorry, taking overtake on Landshark on turn 1 there. Very, very clean. Getting that better exit into the main straight there, and making a clean overtake on the outside. It looks like Gardner and McCoy also gaining a move on Stack. I think Stack might have had a little bit of... Oh, no,
McCoy's out. Oh!
Has a little bit of an incident there. 2 cars bumping into each other, collecting a couple others here.
Let's see what happened. We're going to take a look at the replay and see what in the heck happened in that turn.
Looks like the Porsche. Let's go back 15 seconds there.
Oof. It looks like the Porsche on the inside, and then oh man, his car was basically sideways onto that sharp right-hand corner, and that was complicated. Not a good place to be.
Okay.
So pretty sure he's got some damage on the side of his McLaren. That's for sure.
My ACC has stopped working.
Oh. Well, that seems convenient. Well, it's okay. You can always rejoin. At least.
I will. Yeah, I'll be able to rejoin, but I'm not sure how the. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Maybe it'll respond, but.
So far, so good. The host. Hey.
Oh, It's back. It's back.
Oh, so it's the replay tends to kind of lock up your computer for just a second.
Usually it doesn't do that, but.
So I was like, maybe I shall refrain from hitting this button again, just in case I get kicked out, right? You're like...
It's never done that, but I guess since I reconnected...
No, it will probably do that because we're actually race time, because that's usually how things go, right? Like, race time...
It used to be fine on my other version I had, but I guess since I accidentally deleted it, now I have the crappy version. So, I'm not gonna hit that again. So, because I'm sending race data, so I hope that didn't mess anything up with the race data.
I think any contacts get still captured on this, so we should be good.
Well, I had to reconnect.
Oh, so gotcha.
Like race control, so I'm not sure, but we'll see. I'm just gonna run with it. So, but anyways, we're back. I'm sorry about that. We're back.
And I'm actually
business.
At the moment. I am following. It looks like who is Friedrichsen.
Oh, little bit. Sorry to interrupt, but Louis and who was it? Oh,
looks like a yellow back here.
There's a little contact right there, and it just like sent Louis like whoop right to the side.
So Louis not having the best of luck today. Looks like he had moved up here and there, and now he's getting bounced around from earlier. He went a little bit wide. Now he's down in 24th, so somewhat close from where he started as far as qualifying wise. But he could have been better. But you know, sometimes race does not go your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure doesn't. Dan Rebel gonna make a move on Corey over here for 9th place, moving himself up to the top there.
And he's not too far back as Harris.
Oh no, Bailey have a little bit of an incident there and dropped down a couple positions. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Quite a few drivers moved up one spot because of that, so he's dropped down to 30th. He's got back on track though. So, and Navarro had a yellow as well, but a couple of weird incidents back here.
Yeah, Navarro getting back onto the track there, and yeah, towards the front there, we're going to have Ronnie Over kind of making his way towards the front there. I know he qualified kind of, I think, 12th or so. Now he's up in 6th, and he's looking to pass Archie over here. He's almost going side by side here, but not quite.
He actually backs down a little bit, says maybe I'll attempt this at another time.
Yeah.
Playing it smart.
I think he's going to play it smart there and not cause that incident, which is a good call.
The Crown is right ahead of him as well. So these guys, again, literally within a couple of seconds of each other, other than Wilson, who's flying away into the, into the wind. That's if he keeps it up.
Yeah, doing that Porsche thing. He's increased his gap by another second since we last commented on the Porsche. So
we need to talk to the admins to add a ballast to his car.
we need a ballast on this guy.
we need to talk to the admins, add a restrictor, ballast, you name it. He's gonna get it.
Oh no! Sorry, I just had a little bit of a heart attack.
Ooh.
Jason Allen had hit one of those sausages on the outside and almost lost it a bit. He just lost a position to Shark after he gained it, but it could have been a lot worse. He didn't go into any walls, so.
Well, if he's still on the track, a couple of seconds maybe lost is still a win. I'd consider if that's the case.
Yeah.
Indeed.
He's got the pace. He's got the pace. I believe in my boy. All right. I believe.
Yes.
I believe. Yeah, we got a good train going behind second as well. All the way up to 6th here. Drivers very, very close to each other.
But again, so far, we talked about the field spreading apart just a little bit, and we're going to pull up I know we can see the map on the right-hand side of the screen, but we're going to just pull up the actual map view so you guys can see in the center for just a second or two. And you can see that triangle towards the middle of your screen. That's how far Wilson is ahead from, I guess the rest of all the way to 6th or 7th. But everybody else is kind of spread a little bit, but not too bad.
It's about 5 seconds now. And that's another second since last we looked.
I mean, he's got a 34.372 last lap, where Lau has a 34.972, so he's open basically half a second on just that lap.
Well, keep in mind that Lau's last lap was invalidated too, so there might have been a little bit of a mess up there as far as execution. But even like looking at best laps, I think, well, my data might be a little bit outdated, but Wilson does have the best lap still, as far as my data, because I did have to reconnect there. But I think he does have the pace to just kind of pull ahead there.
Now I am following Poliak here. He's currently in 37. Now he's following Boardman just within about half a second of him. So you can see on the picture-in-picture, Boardman's rear view mirror, just see this nice-looking BMW ready to pounce at any time. And a little mistake, you know, Poliak is going to go ahead and take that position away.
Yeah, I mean, Poliak running through here with the BMW, which is not a common car, actually. I think it's one of the only BMWs, one of two BMWs in this whole race here, but it's got good brakes, so he's just waiting for that opportunity on the straight to kind of trying to gain that position by doing the better braking here. Now,
checking out our chat, we have a... see, I cannot pronounce your name, but it says OG Burmese Python 105 says Jack needs to cut the track more. So, again, we're talking about Misano. Like, the curbs, I'm not really sure where the track limits end a lot of times. So,
yeah,
I take the easy approach.
Cutting the track is very important on this. There's a lot of areas you can cut.
Absolutely.
But you got to be careful if you cut too much. You know, those sausage curbs, because some cars handle them better than others. And it's one of those things where there is a lot of curbing, so the track limits are kind of up in the air a little bit sometimes. So
yep.
Cutting that track gives you a lot of time if you're able to pull it off.
And Poliak has backed out just a little bit. He's got a second or so still within Boardman, but Boardman is actually... looks like he's getting near Morrison ahead of him for 35th, so this might turn into a little bit of a battle very soon. Switch the camera a little bit up to the front. Elias, let me know if you see anybody else at the moment, but we do have Crown on 4th with Stasi still in 3rd, but that group has stuck together the entire 20 minutes so far. It's Crown, basically Stasi, Crown, Archie, and Over. All together, basically, for the entire race. So we'll see if anybody makes any pit mistakes. That's where things are going to come into play here. Hopefully not, they'll come out all together. So.
Yeah. It's all about that pit execution. If you can get that right execution for pit, you got it.
You know, it's one thing about ACC's pit and how you have to be so precise. It's almost like a game of chess. So when you go to pit, you're like, all right, did I uncheck tires for this race? Okay, I was supposed to. I did. Okay, can I park it right in front of the little plaque? Okay, copy. All right, turn off the engine. Did I do that? You know, save you some time, obviously.
Yeah.
I did. Okay, it's only 3 seconds. Turn the engine back on. Hit the gas. It's like literally like a whole game by itself. And then you come out of there, you're like, okay, this was a total success. So it's really like a
so
game.
Many things to do right in that pit lane. It's just like, this, and
so
that.
Nice when you pull it off super quick though, because you feel like you're taking the pit lane by storm, and you feel like you're Lightning McQueen getting your tires changed in 0.25 seconds, you know, and back out of the track, and all the other guys are like, what did he do? So.
Yeah.
And now we're following Mr. Krochik, who is in 16th place as a request from our chat. Actually, Krochik is a great driver. I actually battled him a few times last season. We both had the McLaren, and he was actually slightly quicker than I was, but I tended to find myself in better situations. And then he ended up, one time in Barcelona, he ended up spinning, which was, you know, it was total Barcelona last season. It was also a total flood festival kind of scenario. I remember that. So we battled a few times, and he's a great driver, and he's now on Division 2 here, and he's sitting on that 16th spot so far. And we should see him moving up. He's chosen the AMR, so the V8 version, obviously, for this season. And he's doing pretty good himself so far.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to see a driver that the name is recognizable even if I'm not in P2. Because I've heard of Krawczyk even before this season. So he's been around for at least longer than I have. I know that.
Now he is carrying a... I mean, again, things are so close together on the entire race. He's got quite a little bit of a train behind him. Not too close. He's got about a second gap to Lee in 17th. And about a second to Anderson ahead of him for 15th. So he's kind of comfy, I'd say. It's still not very comfy to be within a second, as you can see everybody in behind you. But considering other drivers, which are within a half a second, especially those top, second to the sixth spot, those guys are basically on edge at all times. So as he makes a little mistake leading into the back straight, so that might be a little bit of room for Lee to catch up on his Aston Martin as well. So quite a little big of a train coming up on the back.
Yeah, that's what it looks like there. And I think there was a little bit of an incident over at the front between Ronnie Over and whoever he was battling. I wasn't able to switch over to because my race control's being a little bit slow right now, but that's unfortunate to see right there.
So yeah, he's dropped out for about 2.5 seconds or so behind those guys. And that gave a little bit of breathing room for Stasiv in third, Crown in fourth, and now basically running over in fifth. But if these guys up front if they are playing smart and battle, if they don't battle and just kind of keep themselves, they can keep that distance. But if they start battling for position, Ronnie Over will come right at back to them, and it'll be a 3-car festival. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where it could be very, very close.
Also, another driver who's get very close. We have Rebel. So then Rebel and Rutkowski 8th and 9th, and they've been pretty close for a very long time. But Rebel's just kind of keeping things, to himself a little bit. Maybe trying to game it on the pit. When the pit window opens, we're going to start seeing a bunch of people that think they're faster than the one ahead of them. I'm going to try to undercut him, get right into the pit. As I mentioned it.
Pit window.
And look at that. Welcome to the pit window, guys. 10 minutes.
Just as we were talking about.
And hey,
the pit window is now open.
I did not even look at the time. I swear. It was just, hey, you know what? I counted that in my brain. 25 minutes in my brain was counted as a timer, and I knew exactly when to say it. So as Rebel,
again, Rebel is pitting very early.
Again, he probably knows he might be a little bit faster than Rutkowski, and he wants to try to undercut him. So we'll see where that.
He might have some damage too. Keep in mind, if you got some damage, it's better to pit early to repair that as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Roger as well going into the pit lane there, repairing any damage he might have. And I forgot to say this earlier, but Russell Allen had a little bit of an incident. So I think he's going to go into the pits as well.
Oof. And we see from the sound of the engine from Rebel, I believe he either didn't turn off the engine to his car, we were talking about that earlier, or missed it by a bit, but he spent a little bit too much time into the pits. So so that might affect him. Again, this is if Rutkowski again also doesn't botch his pit, that might actually give him a pretty good lead for Rutkowski. Unfortunately for Rebel.
Yeah, I mean, they're very, very close already as far as the gap goes, so we'll kind of see when Rutkowski decides to pit there, and yeah, those valuable seconds are definitely might cost him a couple positions there. Yeah, it seems like a good about 7 drivers have now in the pit lane, and a lot of the drivers are opting to use up their remaining time just out on the track, trying to put the tires to the best use and pitting at the very last possible moment that they can.
And again, 10-minute window, just over 8 minutes to go. So it's going to get kind of all over the place very soon here as we keep an eye on this.
Yeah, a lot of people coming in and out of the pits here very, very soon. We're going to see some more blue flags coming out here from these drivers. As we're going to have laps kind of mixed up between drivers who have pitted and drivers who have not. And looking back at the leader here, now their gap is up to 7 seconds, which is crazy right now.
Whoa,
and Kevin is also kind of, yeah, Kevin Lau is also sitting relatively comfortable at about a second and a half away from
Stasiv,
his opponent there. Yeah.
Now Wilson is on a league of his own at the moment here.
Yeah.
We need to talk to the race directors here and admins and find out what happened to his car and all that, because we need to add a BOP to that Porsche mid race.
Add so many sandbags.
Like at least 500 kilograms just to like anchor his car. So.
Yeah. And we're gonna see 4 more drivers entering the pit lane there. Let's take a look over at Archie and Michael over in 6th and 7th in the Porsche and the Ferrari. And just take a look at what their plans are for overtaking or trying to undercut in the pits. It seems like both of them have similar pace, and I'm thinking they're going to try to go for some sort of pit maneuver.
But Archie goes into the pit.
Yep, there it is right there. He's like, I'm going to pit right now. I'm going to try and come out ahead of you when you go and pit. And Mickey decides to stay out there and keep battling.
We're gonna keep an eye on Archie's pit here and see if he's able to nail this down on the new whole puzzle you have to do in order to get your pit stop correctly in ACC. We'll see if he's able to get that going. Prenny made no major damage to his car or anything of that sort, but and looks like it was a decent pit. So I would say successful pit stop for Archie. Maybe a little bit slow, but we'll see.
8-second stop, so it's not the worst. It's not the best. We're seeing, as Laura's looking at our time stopped here, we got some 5s, which is really, really good. Some 6s. So some really good times coming out from these drivers here coming out of the pit lane. Some people probably repairing a little bit of damage there as well, which is why we have some that are in the 20s and teens.
Now Archie does come out in a little bit of traffic, but right behind looks like he comes out. Directly behind Berg, who is now in 19th, but again, he has not yet pit. So,
Berg has not pit yet, so he should be ahead of Berg right there. Let's take a look back at the grid here. We're going to look back over at the bottom half of the grid here. Let's look at Morrison and Queso over in the Lamborghini and the Aston there. Kind of not too close, but it's one of those things where looking again, which one of them is going to pit first, which one of them is going to pit second, or if they're going to try and go for a move beforehand here.
Now look at the chat. We're looking at Misano saying that short lap with long pit lane, it is bad to pit in this early. So, you know, again, there's different strategies, you would say, for different drivers, but depending I would say if you have traffic and you know you're faster than the guy ahead of you, you might want to try to pit in as fast as you can just to possibly come out on a, clear track, nothing in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, that car is a lot of calculation there. Yep. I'd say if you're leading in the front, try and pit as late as you can unless you got damage. Just try and avoid that as much as you can. Just try and use the tires and whatnot that you have right away.
And then look at this, guys. Look at this. If you go and scroll down to 16th plate at the moment, we do have a stop and go for Stasi.
Oh, no.
Is that a speeding in the pit lane? I think that's a speeding in the pit lane.
Yep, he might have botched it to second gear on the pit lane, had the pit limiter. Maybe, again, if you're in second gear. Another thing about ACC, you can be in second. Again, the cars have to be in first in order for you to get actually the pit limiter to engage. That's actually, as far as I know, it's accurate from the cars. And he might have done that wrong. So he's got to stop and go in order to. And he was up in third. So that's very unfortunate for the race to go to. He's going to drop down quite a few positions due to that. A stop and go 30 is a long time.
And it feels like hours too.
Yeah, with how close this race is too, it's definitely going to be quite a few positions, and we're going to see Lau and Wilson both pit, which is going to put Crown into P1 for now. We'll kind of see how they execute their pits and see if they are able to keep their pole position, or if Crown is going to be able to steal that away and keep that when he goes to pit. And it looks like Wilson and Lau both had a 6-second pit, and that's going to be pretty hard to beat. So I feel like they're still going to be safe in first there. It kind of depends on just how they get caught up in traffic going forward here.
Yeah, Wilson came out of the pit, and he's already way down by almost sector 2, and Lau is just coming around that sharp right-hand turn after the pit. So he's got a good, I would say, almost like a 7-second lead here, if not more, between Lau and it's about 8 seconds from what I see. So
their pit time is almost is identical. So their pit execution is very, very on point there.
6 seconds and 5. I mean, yeah, it's Wilson with a perfect pit, basically. You would call it.
Yeah.
And Lau within 1 second, 6 seconds. It's pretty even. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
We got ourselves a drive-through penalty for man person.
Ooh, man person getting a drive-through, probably speeding in the pit lane if I had to guess there.
Yeah, I'd say a drive-through, and I get confused times what ACC will give you as stop-and-go 30, which is a drive-through could be track cuts. So if he's cutting the track too much, that is probably what led him to a drive-through. Now a stop-and-go 30 is due to a speeding on the pit lane. So
yep, I think you're right. It's probably a track cut. You're correct.
Yeah.
And we know how this track is with track cuts. Take a little too much. You don't let go off the gas. The race director, in-game race director, will slap you with that, and it will not like it at all. It will give you, here we go, you had a chance. I don't care if you're 1 kilometer above the speed limit. That's too bad.
Yeah, looks like 599 has cleared their penalty now and are good to go. We're going to be looking at the middle of the board here. We're going to see the two teammates, Russell Allen and Jason Allen, fighting it out coming into the last sector here. Or the first sector here.
As they are, the teammates are coming down the main straight. Now, one thing about Russell Allen, I actually know him for years. Even before he had joined in our SRA, he had, when I was running a little league with myself, he actually came in and joined and started racing with us. Just like most people, like he was actually fairly new to the game, and all of a sudden, he's just D2 now, absolutely super quick. So he's improving a lot from the first time I actually raced with him. So it's good to see. Anyway, talk about you put your practice in, you basically improve. That's a clear example of that. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. I know he's been around the community for a while, so definitely a really cool guy, really nice guy, and he's a pleasure talking to. And I'm sure anybody who gets to race with him is super happy to race with a clean, respectful dude. So it's always good to see. And I don't did you see Mitchell in the race anymore? I don't know what happened. I do not see. I saw a yellow flag for a second, and then I do not see him anymore.
So that was interesting. I did see a yellow for him as he was going into the pit, and I think I saw him pulling out of the pit, and I actually caught that on the stream. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, if he got disconnected or not after that, but he is no longer on our leaderboard, so we'll check in with him
I don't
later.
know what happened. I saw a pit lane, and I saw a brief yellow, so I don't know if he just had a disconnect or whatnot. He might have lost power, which is really unfortunate for Mitchell there.
And then just kind of going back and talking about how we were battling earlier with Rutkowski and Rebel. The first one was as the pit window started. So Rutkowski is still 8th. Now Rebel, because of that little longer pit that he took, unfortunately, he's dropped to 10th, and now they have Roger right in between them. And again, Rebel's pit was an entire, basically 15 seconds, where Rutkowski was only 7. So all that, the gap that Rebel had maybe built throughout the race, basically vanished as he's dropped a position too. So pit. We always have these pit worries here in ACC, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, the pit worries here. Let's take a look towards the front here. We're going to see Ronnie Over now in 4th here. He's steadily made his way up. He was our previous champion, correct, of Race 1.
That was Ronnie Over. He's running in 4th. Yep.
Yeah, so he's in 4th now. So he's just making his way up to the podium again, looking to try and make a move on Crown whenever he can. He's still a little bit behind, but he's trying to figure out what his move is and how his driver in front is reacting to the turns, and see what their weaknesses are and take advantage of them.
And then checking on the chat, Dom is actually saying Doug left the screen, and he is gone. So we'll check with him.
No.
I think it's hardware failure, if I had to guess.
And as we're talking about that Rebel, I mean, I'm just going to keep his name out of my mouth because now he's got a drive-through. So I am jinxing him all around. Rebel, we apologize. I apologize. I keep talking about you, and all of a sudden you see a DT next to your name. I'm not going to say anything else. Hope you can work your way back up the field. I apologize.
This is where the DTs are just going to keep rolling out now that we're halfway into the race. Just
there's a lot of track cuts. It's just tough with track cuts on this.
Yeah.
They like to hand out a lot of track cuts. So
it's like even just like a smidge on the grass, like even just a tiny bit, you get a warning or a track cut. It's something else with this track.
They don't like it when you truck this track a lot. But, you know, sometimes you got to cut it just the right amount to gain time.
It's because
Wagner, a little bit of an off-track moment there, but you can go on.
No, I was just gonna say that Misano. The reason it's so inviting to cut is that basically all the curbs on this track they're basically flat. I mean, if you're talking about the outside curbs out of a turn, so you take the apex, even the apex, let's say turn 1, you can take it pretty deep. There's a couple of little sausages on the way, but it's doable. And then the entire track all around, the curbs are so wide.
They're like spread out.
It's inviting you to just send your car that wide into it. Like there's a lot of MotoGP racing going on here, so that might also take place that they cut the heck out of those curbs because it's within the track. So, and not many sausages we talk about on the outside to prevent those motorcycles. I would say those it would not be a fun thing for you to get on your motorbike and hit those stairs. You would not have a happy time. Probably somewhere.
Balance. That's like riding. Yeah,
very dangerous.
Those like when you go to like the mall and there's like those little like horse things that you put the quarters in and it like goes up and down. It's like that times 20.
Yeah, it's just you basically be bouncing off and into the ground and everywhere. So you want to avoid that, and again, I get a lot of MotoGP racing on this, and again, that's probably what plays a part on why they. Again, if you have a car, hey, by any means, send it as close to the grass as you can.
Yeah.
If the race director says you're clear, and then you run another lap and find your limit.
There you go. You're clear.
And just run it till it's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look at the middle of the pack here, or actually more towards the front here. We're going to have a little gaggle of cars.
Yep.
Led by Anderson.
That's right.
And followed up by Harris. And I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
We have Secom and then Semedo.
Secom and Semedo.
Yep.
2 McLarens in there, Lamborghini, and a BMW. All these drivers looking for a weakness in their opponents here. And I think those two are teammates. No, they're not teammates, but they're running similar liveries.
Similar liveries.
I think conglomerate teammates or conglomerate mates or whatever you want to call it there.
Yep, that's correct. And talking about Sikkim, he was actually, by the way, the D3 Gold winner last season. So he won. I actually turned out to be, we're talking about myself and Krochik earlier, how was given a pretty good battle. Again, he could have probably taken the championship. I ended up getting the silver, but Second was actually the gold, and he was driving the heck out of the BMW. He is a BMW guy, and you cannot tell him otherwise. He will always be in a BMW no matter what, and he is very quick. So
there you go. I mean, it's good to have one car that you're really good with because it's just, you can only bring one car to the track. It doesn't matter if you're good at 10 different cars when you can only bring one. So yeah, being a one-trick pony is the way to go sometimes in ACC here, and BMW, I think it's one of two on this grid, and he is handling it very well in this race.
There's a little bit of contact with Kish and Navarro just a few moments ago. There's like a little 3-car battle. It's a little spread out now, but until that breaking point comes, Kish, Navarro, Stack, 2 teammates too, Navarro and Stack, going at it. Little team battle. Kish, and actually Scott is coming up as well, so it may be a 4-car battle if everybody stacks up together. No pun intended, because Stack is also in the battle. Oh, and actually, speaking of that, Kish went way off into the dirt, and now he lost his... Actually, he lost
one position.
After that. Yeah, one whole position.
Now, Stack is leading his teammate. As we mentioned, he is 23rd with Navarro 24th, and now Scott is in 25th, where Kish is now 26th. So
the teammates like the group up. I know for me, my teammate, we were next to each other for a good later half of the portion of the race. I was just trying not to get in their way. They were trying not to get in my way the best they could, so.
Let's take a quick look here on 16th spot, but there's another battle going on here with Lee and Garner not too far back from each other now. Garner with that Lambo, who is Stasiv's teammate, who, by the way, has dropped way down to 33rd after that stop-and-go 30, just so you guys know.
Wow, down 33rd. That's unfortunate. And I think we might see a little bit of a... Nope, he's opting not to go for the pass there. We're just taking a look at Lee and Gardner right there. Just go very, very close down those main couple of straights there.
As they reach the hairpin, is not able to find a way around Lee. It looks like he's got some speed and trying to move up on the field, but Lee with a good defensive move, not giving him any room. There's still just about 60 minutes left in the race, so things can change quite a bit. It's nowhere near over.
Yeah, a lot of race still left. Quite a few laps here. And looking back towards that little group that we were seeing before, I think it's kind of breaking up here a little bit. But we were going to see 4 of those guys just kind of hovering around 11th to 14th there. Do you think we're going to see a major move into the top 10 from any of these guys before the race ends?
Ooh, my take is, from what I'm seeing here, times have sort of stabilized around the 35s, I'd say, around, anybody not on the top 10. And there's a pretty big gap. I mean, Anderson's 10th right now with Harris, which was the 11th, so there might be a chance for him. So things might change there for that 10th spot, but then after Anderson, Rogers got another 4 seconds.
Another 4-second gap.
So it's going to be a little bit tough.
It's going to be tough to break in anything past the top 10 there, especially with 15 minutes left of the race here. So you definitely have a good point there. Oh no, we've got Stack and Scott have a little bit, some yellow flag moments. Scott is now off
Scott
the
is
track
off
here.
Oh.
He has dropped on the track here. Many positions. He's dropped from 25th all the way down to 30th, so we didn't catch that on the stream. There's so much stuff going on, but I know just about 15 minutes left on the race. Sometimes you can lose your concentration a bit. Sometimes it's your own fault, but sometimes by no fault of your mean.
I saw 2 yellow flags at one point, so there might have been a collision there. I'm not 100% sure there, but unfortunate nonetheless. Take a look back at our little grouping over here with Harris, Duncombe, and Semedo and Fredrickson there.
Yeah, that's a close group of guys, and Secombe is still behind, not able to find his way around Semedo.
Yeah, he's looking for an opening. He's looking for that weakness right there.
Semedo makes a mistake. And that will give him room.
Oh,
that's actually Harris right there.
Harris, correct. You're right. Harris.
Yeah,
you're correct.
Harris drops 2 positions right there.
Yep.
For that one mistake, but is still in the running there, just right close behind Semedo right there, just looking to gain that position back.
I know Secombe must be ecstatic a little bit now as he kind of has a little bit of breathing room, at least ahead of him. He doesn't have to be on dirty air or anything of that sort, but whew.
Yeah, and now he's 2 seconds away from breaking into the top 10 like we were talking about before here.
Yep.
And there's 13 minutes left of the race. And looking at the pace as well, let's take a look over at the pace between him and Anderson.
And Anderson has been sort of not exactly hot lapping, but got some free room to play around with. Now Secombe had that, possibly avoid that incident where with Harris and Semedo that happened. So, but he's just within 200ths of a second of Anderson's last lap. So we'll see what happens now that he's got some clean air, and see if he's able to at least get closer to Anderson, get on that top 10.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to if they can hold their consistency and not make any mistakes here, because they're both pretty much separated, like you said. So it's just you and the track. And when it's that, it comes down to a lot of skill, just being able to try and set that hot lap as best as you can to gain that advantage or keep that position.
Now we have somebody on the chat, NeoTech1, saying, let's go Jared Catch Anderson. That is Mr. Seckham. Rooting for Seckham to try to make a move on Anderson for that top 10. So he's a little bit ahead, and Anderson's a great driver, so he'll need to put in his best effort now to try to catch up, at least get on the draft and see if he's able to make a move then, which is going to still be tough. It's a tough track to get through, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and too, I mean, just overtaking on this track, there's only a couple areas you can really do it, unless you get a really, really good run. There are some good straights, but not all of them are super, super long, so you got to kind of capitalize where you can.
As Anderson crosses the line with a 35.215, and look at Seckham with a 34.772. So he has gained a good half a second. To see Anderson, he's closing in. So this is going to be a battle that is going to, at this current pace, maybe in about 3 laps, Seckham might be right behind Anderson right here for a possible top 10 move.
Yeah, but it's not over because he's still got to make that move. So in 3 laps, it's going to be 5 minutes roughly for him to make that move there. So he's got to get an opening and make the overtake. So it's going to be tough, but I think he can do it.
And knowing Seckham, he's not backing down from that at all. He is absolutely dead focused right now. I am going to get that top 10. He is not playing around at all.
He's a man on a mission, that's for sure. He's not going to take that lightly. He's going to get that more likely. He's going to beat that Lambo and just vroom right past.
Vroom indeed. And yeah, he's got the drive, he's got the dedication. But does he have the skill? That's the question there. And he's dropped the gap down to 1 second, less than a second here, about 9/10, kind of rotating it around that 1 second mark. And Anderson's kind of going to be feeling the heat now. If he's looking at his times, he's going to see that Seckham has closed that gap considerably. And Anderson is going to be feeling that pressure pretty soon here.
He's going to have to defend for his life at this current pace. He's just basically crossing the line. Anderson with a 35.110 and another half a second gain. Second with a 34.622. So this is going to be something to watch for. Yep.
It's not too long before Anderson's tail will be in legs, let me tell you. Like, Seckham is just gaining.
We're going to see Rebel over in 25th gaining a position from Stack. I'm pretty sure it was a clean overtake. No yellow flags came out there.
And Rebel again had that drive-through. Again, I said I wasn't going to mention his name again. I'm going to probably switch the camera off him before I jinx his race one more time.
But let's not have the commentator's curse take any more life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it took way too many.
So anyway, Semedo in 13th.
Yeah, it's taking too many lives, this stream.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, it's going to be one of those things that will always be with us. You know, I don't believe in superstition, but commentator's curse is on a different level. All right.
Oh yeah.
If you don't believe in commentator's curse, are you even a sim commentator at this point? Or even a sim racer? All right.
Exactly.
And again, I am back at Seckham, by the way, and he is absolutely on Anderson's bumper by now. He knows he's got just over 8 minutes to make this happen, and Anderson is seeing that BMW, and he's not enjoying.
He wants that top 10.
Yeah, he wants the top 10. He's looking for an opening right now, and as far as the BMW goes, I think it's got a little bit of advantage on the Lamborghini on the straights, being able to that heavy braking zones, just trying to be able to outbrake there, but it's going to be difficult to make that move clean. And I think the BMW can do it, though. I think it's going to have to be in one of those heavy braking zones where that BMW might have the advantage over the Lamborghini. But I think we can see Seckham make that move here in the next couple laps.
He's going to have to play that chess game and see where he might be able to come out, especially coming up on entering mid-sector 2 as they're going to come to the next turn. If you can get a better exit out of the turn they're about to get into as he goes very wide, and he's going to try to make that up on the straight here as he goes a little bit wide, get better exit speed, and we'll see what he can make it stick.
They're very, very close, but they both got similar exit here. He's got the draft, though. He's got the draft, but I don't think it's going to happen. He's too far behind on this right now. Even with the brakes, though, I don't think he can outbrake the Lamborghini. He's too far back. He's going to play it safe. He goes a little bit wide, giving up a little bit of time there, but he's going to try again next lap here.
But
gets a really, really good exit on that hairpin there.
It's such a tough track to overtake, though, in general, because you can just position your car at the end of the straights on an inside line and just defend for your life, if that's the case, which is what Anderson kind of did. And here, once again, at the starting line, as you can see, Anderson is going to probably go wide and just take his car right in. So it's tough to overtake here. So Secom's going to have a little bit of a hard time. And not to mention, again, take a look at Semedo, Harris, and Friedrichsen behind there are kind of getting near them. So 6 minutes left.
There's 6 minutes left, and honestly, he's got more time to make this overtake than I thought. Like I said before, I thought he would only have 5-4 minutes, but it's already going on 6 here, and he's been fighting to get that position already. So yeah, it's one of those things where I think he's got more time than we thought to make that move, but it's all if he can pull it off or not.
And then, by the way, on the second screen we got going on, we do have, just so you know, third place Crown is trying to fend off Over, who is pretty close. You know, Over is looking for that podium in third. He probably won't be able to get ahead to Lau, who's in second, and Wilson, who has already finished the race by this point. Pretty
much.
It might be a little bit of a battle. Two pretty good battles going on towards the end of the race here.
Yeah, Ronnie Over trying to secure his place on the podium yet again this race. But he's going to have to pass Crown, which is a very consistent driver in the McLaren here. But even if Ronnie finishes fourth, that's going to put his points very, very well, as finishing in the top 5 consistently is going to do well for your score here, especially being a silver driver. But keep in mind that Lau and Wilson both finished, I think, respectively well on their last race as well. So they're going to be competing for championship points very, very closely as the season progresses here. And there's going to be a rivalry emerge from these 3 drivers over the season, I feel.
And then we were talking about our first round, where Thomas was actually doing really, really good until an incident. He's actually not here tonight, so he might be taking his drop-off round. We'll see. Hopefully he's back next week at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, hopefully. That is going to kind of be unfortunate, though, because I think he wanted to use that first race as his dropout round, because after that little incident, he didn't finish where he wanted to.
Correct. So these things can make a big play at the end of the championship, like points-wise. So as you can see, Anderson taking that inside line, he's trying to fend off Secom. He's letting him know, you're not getting through here.
Yep.
It's like, it's not happening. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of defensive move right there. 4 minutes left in the race, but BMW, nope, he does not go for the move there.
But he needs to be careful, because who is behind him? Semedo now, so he's in sandwich. We got a BMW sandwich coming up on the last 3 minutes of the race here. So he's in trouble. He's a little bit in trouble because he can't find a way around Anderson, but he's got to worry about defending from Semedo. So, ooh.
Yeah, in that whole fight, it seems like they both lost a bit of pace trying to go for defensive moves that may not be the optimal lap, and that just allows Semedo to catch up, and now they got that train running here, and there's only a few minutes left in the race to make any moves. These drivers are going to be maybe trying things that are a little bit more risky than before to try and make that position before the end of the race. Hopefully we're not going to have any incidents here.
Yet Anderson had a...
Secom goes wide.
He does. Well, he's still able to keep it together. And I mean, if that was a track cut or not, he's good. No drive-thrus.
Yeah, no drive-thrus. Good,
so he's good. He's good for him. But now he has sort of become a 3-man battle a little bit. With two and a half minutes left on the race. Very interesting. Very interesting to end this.
Indeed.
And by the way, on the small screen, you see as Crown is still fending off over. I don't think Crown is going to let nobody get that third spot at this point. As you see, as Rover is flashing him, he's saying, trying to get his attention, or possibly.
Let me by. I want to come by.
Crown is maybe pulling a distraction on him.
He wants it.
He's trying to distract him, and Crown obviously is not taking that at all. As Ronnie's trying to. Hey, at this point, he's trying anything on his game plan to try to offset Crown. And Crown is like, I don't even have a rear view mirror, man. I don't see anything.
I'm not even looking at you.
I am ahead. Don't even worry about it.
I don't think about you at all.
Yeah, he's just keeping his steady lines and making it happen. So it'll be tough. Yeah. Now on the main screen, we're still looking at. Like Secom now with Anders Secom, Samedo, Harris, and Fritz. It looks like it became basically a 5-car train, and Anderson basically defending for his life, I would say, at this point. This makes a little bit loose, but might not be enough as Secom is trying to get on the outside line.
Oh, he's gonna go for the move here. He's gonna go for the late apex, but
he needs to be careful now because Samedo is looking for that.
Apex.
Yep.
It's tricky right there going on the outside.
Stack coming in with a drive-through for track limits right near the end of the race. Hate to see it.
Now that's something you just will try everything.
Here's Ronnie over with the move right here on the main straight.
Yep, he did. He's trying to get on the outside.
He's on the outside. This is it right here. Almost on the final lap. He's on the outside. Not
and a
able
Porsche
to
losing it. He goes on the inside.
He fixed his nose in just barely there. Now going side by side, but Crown is able to pull ahead here.
He loses a little bit of his rear.
Side by side again.
He's going to late break it.
The next turn here.
Oh, wow. He is not letting that go. And he makes the move.
Ronnie
Over loses it.
Ronnie Over's got the better line out of the straight.
And it looks like Ronnie Over
straight here.
He's pulling away.
Up to this braking zone here.
Crown is not letting that go yet, but he concedes.
Oh, there it is.
What a move.
Yeah.
There it is. Ronnie Over has secured that position. And Crown, after defending for so long, is now bumped out of the podium. What a turn of events here.
As that was literally on the last lap as it's ending. As Wilson already finished, is already at home. Where Lau is kind of on its own, like having some fun, and then Over and Crown gets. It's not over yet. Just remember that.
It's not.
It's not over yet.
It's not over till it's over. Yep.
That's funny that you say that, because there's actually a song by a guy named Ronnie that's called "It's Not Over Till It's Over."
There you go.
And if anybody listens to metal music, they know what I'm talking about. So.
And just so we can catch up a bit, Wilson has already crossed the line, so does Lau, and Rover takes that third spot. Crown finishes in fourth, and I'm sure he might be kicking himself now. We're going to switch off to the battle a little bit just as they're crossing the line. We're going to go back to Anderson, Secom, and this train of basically now there's 6 cars leading into the Sector 3. This is absolutely crazy with Anderson leading everybody. Looks like Anderson is going to take that, well, basically that top 10 with everybody else. And Anderson, look at that train of cars. No. Look at this. And Secom flashing Anderson.
Putting on a show for us.
Unbelievable. That was some serious racing going on. Anderson must go now and immediately head into the showers probably. He is totally gone, tired. He is a done deal as that was going. That was yeah, he's unbelievable. As a lot of drivers have already crossed the line, but going back down to 20 again, stack with that drive-through you talked about. We still have Berg, who is in 28th at the moment, just about to cross the finish line.
Well played.
And Stasi, again, who had dropped out into 33rd, he moved his way back up to basically, it seems like he's finished in, oh man, the standing is moving all over the place at 27th as everybody finishes the crossing. Wow. Whew, I am out of breath right there at the end of the race. This was absolutely insane. I don't know what to say. That's basically what I can say now. But again, congrats to our top three. We have Wilson, who's in the league on his own, Lau with that second, and running over with that third, and right at the last lap, taken away from Crown. So, oh man, that was an insane battle. And then again, gotta give it to Anderson for holding that back. I mean, Anderson was just on a tear, defending for his life. Second had roughly about 10 minutes to try to make a move, and we were talking about it. Didn't make it happen, unfortunately, but they still get 11th spot. I'd say that's pretty good on a field of over 40 cars. But what a race! That was a race, guys. We are.
Yeah, that was a race. If we can pull in Crown and Ronnie over. I don't know if they're there or not. I'm trying to look in race review, and I see Kevin.
A couple of guys joining in. We're gonna switch over to get a couple interviews, and let me get my stuff ready going. We'll pull them into the room. We got to get there. At least a little bit of how was the action. Maybe Second too. We'll see if he's available. We'll pull him in and see what caused him to not able to guess over Anderson. We'll see how that went. So
yeah.
Let's see. I want to
we'll pull somebody in here.
Anderson's actually on race review, and all the other guys are joining in. Let's pull Anderson. Just got to get a little idea on how he felt, at least for the past 10 minutes. I'm gonna move him over to our cool down room for just a second, and we'll bring him in because he was defending for his life. Honestly, that was some good racing.
He did really good defense right there.
Yeah, we should probably pull him into the main before he gets confused.
Yes, I am bringing him over to our Twitch channel. We need to get a little bit of feedback of Anderson. Anderson, can you hear us?
Yep, I hear you.
Hey man, well, we just wanted to bring you in here, kind of get a little bit of take on your side of the race. We're following you for quite a bit there. Basically, I don't know how over 10 minutes with somebody behind you. And basically
it was the whole race.
At
so some point.
Talk to us a little bit. How was that going? How did that race go for you?
Well, the first half of the race, I think I was just chasing Jason Allen, and I was just waiting for the mistake. And right before the pit, I think window opened, it handed it to me on a silver platter. So that was lucky. But then after the pit, I was there was someone pushing me, and I was just telling myself to just stay safe, don't make any mistakes, and don't let them get any easy passes. That was it.
I mean, you held your lines pretty good. I mean, I know he was trying to offset you a little bit, going on the inside, maybe trying to throw you off, but looks like you got loose a few times. I saw it, and you still held it on. And he was like, "Which way can I get around him? Can I get around him? Whether your tires are not good or not." But you still did a pretty good job, and keeping it up. And you end up basically that 10th spot, so you get the top 10. Everybody behind you, it was a train coming up. It's like I want to get in the top 10, and you were like, "Nope, it's mine," and not letting that go. So
I had to play my Gandalf role.
You were the top 10 gatekeeper. We loved it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a sight to see.
Happy to give you guys content. That was a lot of fun.
Oh. There you go. That is your job. All right, not to win, to give us content.
That's right.
Content is great. It's necessary.
Thanks for hopping in, man. We're gonna.
We'll send you back over to your race chat, and then we're going to find a couple other guys. We appreciate you tuning in, man.
Yeah, but thanks, man. You did great. So,
thank you all for commentating.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, man. All right, send him back. Let's see if Mr. Wilson, our winner, we got to find out what kind of boost he had on his car. We're going to move him over. We need to see.
All right, sounds good.
Let's get our race winner here in our chat for just a second. Let's see. Rose, move over to... And why did I not see it? Give me 1 second, guys.
He just left. I don't know where he went, but he left the chat. I literally just saw him.
Oh no, I see. I see.
He got moved him into.
It was in a whole different scenario. We're gonna bring him over to our actual commentators tower here to get a little bit of his side on the race. So Wilson, Gomer, can you hear us?
I can hear you. How you doing, guys?
Like, first of all, congratulations, man. You're on a league on your own there. You got that start. You got that first spot. You started the grid. You started opening up that lead, and you just basically sailed into home by the time you're gone. How did the race go for you? I mean, you basically killed it.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, I'm super happy to get a win. It's great to get a win with so many fast guys, in SRA. So really happy. Didn't think it would come this early, but super happy about that. And yeah, I was struggling a little bit in quali. I knew I had some low 33s in me in quali, and I just couldn't get it until that last lap. Luckily, I was able to get it, and obviously that was big. And then, like you said, I got a great start. Really didn't have to fight anybody. Turns 1, 2, and 3, so was able to get in the rhythm and just sailed away from there. It was great.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
by
where the
sector
Porsche
2,
shines.
by sector 2, you're already half a second ahead of the Lau, who had taken the second spot. So we're like, he's gonna be going, and I'm sure you're happy to see that. A couple of things maybe held Lau and Crown, who was in third, back a little bit. So like that will give me a little bit of room to just sail in. So still, you basically you had a great pit stop. You got that nailed down, and you just basically no issues the whole race. I mean, congrats, man, first place.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's great. Really feels good. Glad to get one. And shout out to Mr. Jeffries for picking me this week. I'm glad I could bring one home for him. And then shout out to Kelvin too and P2, Madhouse Racing. Let's go 1-2.
Nice, man. Congrats, man.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Gotta get those shout outs in. Good to have you, Wilson.
Appreciate it. We'll send you back to the race review channel and we'll bring somebody in, man. So congrats again.
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, man. All right. Let's
who else we bring? Let's bring one more person. I know we had Crown, and I don't see him.
Crown or
and I mean Lau's
Ronnie
available, Runny Over, and I don't see him.
I don't see you. You can try Lau, but he's definitely unmuted. I don't know if he's around or not.
Let's see. Let's bring him over. Let's bring Lau a little bit. I know he finished second, so let's get a little bit of his comments on here. Let's see if we bring him over for an interview. And Kelvin, Lau, can you hear us?
Oh,
we are. You are on the broadcast tower, my friend.
It always confuses me when I listen to the review and then something happens.
Was a little bit ahead. We just wanted to take your congrats, man. You got a P2. I mean, you had a pretty good start. We just wanted to get a little bit of your take on the race. How'd your race go?
Yeah, great race. Overinflated my tires knowing that it would get colder, so I kind of suffered after the first couple laps. Was staying pretty close to Gomer. And then he just kind of like took off, and my front tires were, I was battling how hot they were. And I started a bit of a train and then kind of held that until the pit stops. Once it started to cool down, I think my tires kind of gave me an advantage towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, you had a pretty good stop. I mean, we're kind of following you and Wilson up front. You guys had practically identical stops, and you came out just about like 7 seconds behind him, but he was just flying the whole race. Every time we look at him, he's just like ahead of everybody. So it was a tough beat.
Gomer's got it down, man. Yeah, congrats to him. Great race from him.
I mean, from what I remember, he technically stole your car from season 5, and he's just put it ahead of you because you were the Porsche guy on season 5. So now you're on the Honda. So
yeah, takes a certain driver to drive the Porsche, or maybe the Porsche to drive you. I don't know how you want to spin it. But
that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
But well, still, congrats, man. We just want to get your take on the race, and we'll send you back to the race review channel.
Thank you. I hope you guys had a great
thanks for stopping in, Kevin.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, man.
You guys. Take care.
All right.
I just realized it was Kelvin, not Kevin, and I just called him Kevin.
Kevin. Mr.
Whatever,
Lau,
Mr. Lau.
And
Close enough.
oh, you know what? Let's see here. Oh man, I wish I could bring. I don't see anyone else here that I would have bring it in.
I think we're good.
We're good. We got a couple of guys.
We
good.
Crowd is satisfied. I really wanted to bring Crown or Ronnie over in here.
See what their take on
thoughts are, but I'm sure they're battling it out in the DMs right now.
Yeah, probably.
So that was a legendary battle between the two of them. But yeah, good race all around.
Yep.
As far as lap 1 incidents go, I think it was pretty light. So good job representing safe driving and respecting your fellow drivers. We really like to see that. So just keep that up, and we'll see you all at Brands Hatch.
Yep. And before we go, I was just getting notice from our admins that our standings are updated. So since we're no longer doing interviews, let's pull this up really quick and see what kind of mix we got going on. Let's pull up our drivers page and see how everything updated. And well, he did say it was updated, but I don't see it on my end unless I need to refresh the page. So let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let's see, and if we can pull this up, and yep, there it is. Yeah, I had to refresh the page, but drivers' current standings. So Wilson has taken that lead with 212 points. And now Ronnie Over still, again, he's moved up his way up. Now he's at 202 points. And Lau now in third with 192 points. We're talking about Jared Sikkim. And again, with that battle, again, he still didn't make it to the top 10, but he's still in fifth. So there's still a lot of room to gain there as far as this thing can change like really, really quickly. And if we bring in our second page here, and again, a couple of drivers who had not made it, to any of the race yet, they still have 0 points. But this is your 27th spot all the way through 50 so far for drivers. And take a quick look at teams. Let's take a look if this has been updated on my end. And let's see here. Pull this up, and that should take care of things as well. Let's see if this is coming up with points. And I'm not really sure if that's refreshing, as I see Lau and Thomas still with 262 points. Let's see here if I pull this up. And looks like, yep, it is updated. Things got so mixed up with points, and it has finally pulled up. So it's a little bit confusing. I was like, yeah, because now Semedo and Crown are in second for the teams. So Championship Motorsports Team McLaren with a 242 points. And Lau and Thomas, again, Thomas did not make it today, but he's still 262 points. And your Ghost Rider Racing, two technically naked cowboys, running over, and Guy Van Pearson with 238 for your top three on the team standings. So this can change basically in a heartbeat. Many races we need at least a couple of rounds for this thing to get all sorted out. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, congrats to these guys who have done a pretty good job. 2 races in. We had a break last week, but next week we are, as Jerry had mentioned, we are heading over, packing our bags, crossing the English Canal, heading over to Brands Hatch. That's going to be interesting with a field of 40-something cars. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So
yeah, that's going to be tight. That's for sure.
Especially, and it's already a tight track to begin with.
Exactly. Yeah. So
practically,
that's gonna be,
overtaking, overtaking opportunities, basically down, your back straight into turn 2. If that's the guy makes a mistake, leading into that back straight. Other than that, you basically have no chance to overtake. So qualifying is going to play a big role on that.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting to see. So,
yeah, we'll talk more about theory craft with Brands Hatch next week. But
yeah,
yes,
we'll not get it too ahead of ourselves there.
Yes, so. but other than that, guys, I didn't want to go ahead and we got to thank our sponsors, guys. Our league has so many people, and so many people that actually help. As far as contributing to the league to stay alive, and the whole team, is very grateful for all the contributions and sponsors from our SRA. And I'll go over a few names here who are our sponsors and title sponsors before we close out our stream. And we start with our title sponsors. We have Al Latufo, Dan Rebel, Dominic Duran. We have Evan Keane. We have Fazli Majid, Gordon Beverly, Harvey Condola, Jacob Wolfman, Josh Damiani. We have Cam Miller, Kyle McGinnis, Lance Shark, Matt Morrison, Michael Magenheimer, I believe. I apologize if I did not get that one correct. But also Milo Green, Paulie Hartman, Ramon Lorenzo, Richard Schultz, Robbie Toady, Stephanie Fisher, Thomas Greer, Tony Spaggett, and Zach Sky for our title sponsors. So appreciate all you guys do to keep our community alive. And then also our sponsors, let's not forget them as well. We have Adam Santana, Alex Krochik, who was in the race tonight, Anthony Rohrer, Bailey Kish on the race as well, Ben Roberts, Connor Farrell, Daniel Gutierrez, Darren Robichaud. And apologies, that might have not come out entirely correct. We have Dawal Banderi, Dominic Duran as well, Aim Byron, Ethan Marvin. We have Evan Kin as well, and Gitish Katav. Oh man, I apologize, but that's a really cool name. I'll tell you that. That's actually really neat. Gitish Katavkar and Jack Poliak, Justin Rowley, Coadromo, Matt Morrison, Michael Jeffries, Michael Magenheimer as well, Milo Green, Nate Bright, Nate Specht, Nick Sam, Philip Menzies, Pravin Fonseca, Ramon Lorenzo, Richard Schultz, Robbie Toady, Ron Flo, Yours truly, Selena Boonstra, as well here.
That's me.
That's her. Here we go.
Walters.
Yes, thank you, Selena. Stephanie Fisher, Stephen Smalley, Thomas Greer, Tony Spaggett, Travis Robinson, and Zach Sky. We appreciate all you guys for helping us keeping our community alive. And let's not forget our 2 business sponsors as well, Documize and Retro Saga, who has contributed tremendously for us to keep our league going. And with that being said, guys, I think we are just ready about to close out our stream. And if you have anything else you guys want to say, other than have a good night to everybody?
No, we're good. Have a good night, folks. Take it easy.
All right, we will catch you guys.
Easy. Have a good night.
In 1 week, we'll see you guys at Brent Hatch.
Peace.